Shawn McCoy joins us, a former Romney campaign communications strategist, and David Mercer, former national finance director for the Democratic National Committee. It's nice to have you both on. I'm going to play a little bit more sound from the conversation that Hillary Clinton had with our Ed Henry when she's speaking about the facts of what happened here. Let's take a listen.
I regret that this has become such a cause célèbre, but that does not change the facts. And no matter what anybody tries to say, the facts are stubborn. I know there's a certain level of, sort of anxiety or interest in this, but the facts are the facts.
David, the reference to the facts, I'd like to ask you about that. The fact is that you, as a public servant, are not allowed to have a private email server, regardless of what those emails are labeled. How does Hillary Clinton get around that simple fact?
Where does it say that? And when she did have the private server, everybody knew she had a private server, and it's fine that she had a private server.
It's not fine, though. It's illegal. It's actually illegal to have a private server.
Jenna, you may be saying it's illegal, but tell me what legal authority has said that it was illegal or is illegal for her to have a private server? There's no one, not even Trey Gowdy, the chairman of the Benghazi investigation. No one is saying that it was illegal for her to have it.
No one,
tell me where it says that.
There's no charges yet, as you point out, David. But it is not allowed for.
I point out that it's not illegal and there are no charges because it's not illegal.
Shawn, you're not allowed to do that. That's not something that is within protocol to do. It's something we've been over and over again, regardless of how these emails are classified. How do you think Mrs. Clinton is handling this?
Well, it's getting worse and worse for the Clinton campaign every single day. I mean, her press conference yesterday was cringeworthy. The simple fact is that she's trying to convince us that it's only the media that cares about this, but voters find her untrustworthy, and a majority of voters think that she did something wrong. She has kept classified information on a server in a bathroom closet in Denver. If she were anybody else, David Petraeus, for example, had to plead guilty for keeping classified information at home. Clinton not only had this information on a private server, she also took that information, put it on a thumb drive, and gave it to her lawyer. And now we have emails that have been deleted. We may never know what was on that server. And
we're waiting for this because there is an investigation that's going on, David. How do you think this story in general is impacting her campaign for the presidency?
First of all, the investigation is one that would traditionally go on in that different agencies have competing interests as to what is classified, what's top secret, what isn't. And with FOIA requests, you go back in history and look at FOIA requests, competing interests among the agencies leads to them determining what, in fact, in consensus is classified or top secret. That's what's going on now. It's in public view for the mere fact that the secretary, in her transparent efforts, has asked for those emails to be made public. That's unlike her opponents or likely opponents in the Republican roundup or lineup of candidates, being Jeb Bush, who released 250,000 emails, but has 500,000 that yet he hasn't
You didn't answer
released.
My question. How do you think it's impacting her campaign? As someone that's a Democrat, this is one of the stories, and it's not just Fox News. You're seeing this story run all across the different networks, as well as the New York Times. How do you think that's impacting her candidacy as of right now?
I think the intention of those that, like we're sitting here talking about, rather than the issues of equal pay, of the middle class, and let me finish, Jenna. You asked the question, let me finish. And the point is that this takes away from the discussion of the issues that are of concern to the American people. We would much rather talk about what concerns the American people rather than this controversy that's being ginned up.
Larry Sabato was on our program just last week, and he mentioned, listen, only 20% of American voters are really paying attention right now. And that's a small number. So I ask you the same question. Although this does seem to be a headline-grabbing story, what do you think is the true impact on Hillary Clinton's campaign?
Oh, it's had a huge effect. I mean, now Bernie Sanders is leading her in New Hampshire. She's tanking in the polls nationwide, and that's because voters find her untrustworthy. And this is an extremely important issue. The only reason that she would want to put these emails onto a private server is to prevent the American people from knowing what she was saying. John Kerry, for example, does not have a private email server. He relies entirely on State Department email. Hillary Clinton wants to prevent the American people from knowing what she was saying, and that's why we now have an email server that has thousands of emails that have been deleted.
Well,
Jenna, if I might, okay, what Seth and we're failing to recognize, she's ahead of Jeb Bush by 9 points. She's ahead of Donald Trump by 7 points nationwide. And Jeb Bush has a real concern.
But her numbers have fallen, David.
Since 1970,
her numbers have fallen over the last several weeks.
And look at Jeb Bush's numbers.
Right,
They've
and look
been
at Donald
falling
Trump's
too.
numbers. We could play that game all day long. The question becomes, though, where does this really go?
Her polls are higher than everybody else's.
Right now,
they are.
Everybody else's.
But they've changed over the last several weeks.
Watergate.
Well, there's that comparison being made. We do have to leave it there, but it's an interesting question about where this goes from here. What will be the impact truly on the campaign 6, 12 months from now? We'll see. Nice to have you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenna.